my name is Terry. I have 3 college degrees, including a master's degree from an Ivy League university. I am fluent in 2 languages, and I have a commercial driver's license, which allows me to drive heavy trucks. And I still can't find a job. My girlfriend works at a fast food restaurant. She's been working there for the past 9 years, but what she really wants to do is teach elementary school. So every day I'm going to be telling you stories about things that I think are cool or interesting, and then I'm going to teach you a little bit of Spanish until I can earn enough money to send my girl to teaching school. So today I'm going to be telling you the story of Marilyn Monroe. This is somebody that pretty much everybody has heard of. So in 1926, on June 1st, she was born in Los Angeles, but she was actually born by the legal name of Norma Jean Mortensen. And her childhood was fraught with issues from the start. She never knew her father because he abandoned her and her mother when she was a baby. Now, her mom had very serious mental health issues that made it difficult, if not impossible, for her to take care of Norma. And so she ended up getting passed around and bounced from foster care home to foster care home. And of course, you know how that goes. Sometimes the situation is good, but more often than not, you see problems. And so she was actually raped when she was in foster care, and she was also a victim of an attempted murder. She dropped out of high school when she was 15 years old. And when she turned 16, she was looking for security and looking for a home life and a family life that she had never had before. And so, seeking that security, she married a man named Jimmy Doherty. Now, the problem with that marriage, among other things, is the fact that he works overseas, so he's never home. And so even though she desperately wants this sort of secure home life, she wants to try to replicate the family she never had, she's not able to because she's always alone in that house. And so in order to occupy some of her time and to keep herself busy, she takes up photography as a hobby. But when she's taking photography classes, her teacher is actually taking pictures of her. And he tells her, he's like, look, you got a great look. And he encourages her to apply to a modeling agency. So she actually takes his advice, and applying to the modeling agency ends up being really successful for her, and she ends up starting to land some bookings. And so now it's 1946, she's 20 years old, and her marriage, unfortunately, to Jimmy doesn't work out. And when she's 20, this is when she changes her name to Marilyn Monroe. And so the first 6 years of her career working with the modeling agency, she just gets kind of bit parts. She's like an extra, and she's doing background roles. And the producers, they like her, and they think she's cute, but they don't think she has what it takes to be a real star. And then she got her first big break in 1952. She plays the lead role in a movie called Monkey Business, where she is playing a ditzy blonde in a sort of sexualized role. And then she starts to get this reputation, interestingly enough, of being someone who's innocent, or at least appears to be innocent and kind of cute on the surface, but they're actually secretly seductive. So they are labeling her as kind of like this like sneaky freak. And that is a persona that she starts to take on after her first role in Monkey Business in 1952. But then the very next year, she gets a role in another movie called Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. And this movie goes crazy. I'm talking about, it's a hit, okay? And this ultimately ends up solidifying her reputation as this like sort of sneaky freak that looks so cute, but actually she's a secret seductress, and she maybe isn't as cute as she seems. She kind of has this girl next door vibe. And this isn't a persona that she actively pursues. It's not a persona that she would have chosen to place upon herself, but she just kind of rolls with it because she's happy to be making money. She's happy to not be getting bit parts anymore, and to be actually able to amass some type of financial security for herself, right? So during this time, she actually gets a new husband. This is a name you may have heard before. His name is Joe DiMaggio. And so, but during this time, other actresses are kind of being applauded for their acting ability, and oh my God, she's so talented and she's so great. But Marilyn Monroe is really only getting any type of attention for being hot. She's not applauded for her acting prowess or for her accomplishments. And so I'll give you an example. You may have never seen the movie Monkey Business, or you probably also have never seen the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, but you almost certainly remember the scene where she's standing on a subway grate and a gust of wind comes up from underneath her and it sort of blows her dress up, and she's like, she has her hands down and she's trying to keep her dress from blowing up around her. Even if you've never seen either of those movies, I'd be willing to guess that you've seen that scene. And so that's kind of the idea, is that she has a lot of professional accomplishments in her career, but she is only remembered for this sort of sexualized persona that's being placed on her, and that's by design. And so the public persona, coupled with that specific scene, the subway grate scene, ultimately results in the dissolution of her marriage from Joe DiMaggio. Joe really wants her to be at home playing this doting housewife. She's sort of, in his mind, a trophy wife. She's really hot. She's the girl that everybody else wants, but only he got it. He's kind of trying to lock her down and keep her in the house. And she wants to act because in her mind, she's like, well, yes, you see me as this hot bombshell girl next door type of girl, but so does everybody else. And if I can kind of pull on that image and provide that sort of ideal for other people, that makes me money. And so instead of having to be in this house with you and relying on your whims, whether you're in a good mood or a bad mood, to determine whether or not I'm going to be provided for, I can sort of utilize this sex appeal that I have to make enough money to provide a sense of security for myself that I never experienced before. And so she wants to go out and play this character in order to provide for herself so that she doesn't have to rely on this man and she's not locked away in his kitchen, you know, doing laundry and cooking for him. And so that disagreement where they're not able to see eye to eye ultimately leads to them getting a divorce. And the drama, it only makes her more popular. All of her failed marriages and all of this information that's going on about her personal life. It's almost like if you remember like Kanye West, or the beef between Drake and Kendrick, or some of the things that were going on in the household with, you know, Jaden Smith and all that kind of stuff. Like when people have drama going on, that makes them more popular because everybody wants to talk about, oh my God, what's the latest news with Justin Bieber? What's the latest news with Taylor Swift? And so the fact that she is having all these issues in her personal life just makes people want to tune in more to see the next dramatic episode of her soap opera. So her popularity skyrockets. And she ends up getting married a third time. And there's this nasty rumor going around, among others, but one rumor that was going around about her specifically is that she was actually involved in an affair with then President Kennedy and cheating on her third husband with the President of the United States, who of course is also married at that time. So you can see how there's a lot of sort of salacious rumors and ideology about her personal life that's going around, and people are just loving, you know, the tabloids. They're loving the drama. But what very few people realize is that internally, her life is spiraling out of control. Everybody is sexualizing her. But she's, at this point, trying to get away from this hypersexualized image because she realizes that it's taking away from her accomplishments. Basically, everybody's talking about how hot she is, and nobody's talking about how good of an actor she is, the roles that she has played, the movies that she has landed, and the things that she has been able to accomplish for herself are being completely overshadowed by her being some seductress, temptress, vixen, the image you see in your mind of her standing over the subway grate kind of thing. And so she's like, but I never wanted that. That was an image that was placed on me by my producers, by the directors, by the tabloids, but that's not who I really am. And so she's trying desperately to pull away from that image because she's uncomfortable, but she's not able to. She's not able to overcome the rumors. And ultimately, when she is 36 years old, she is found dead in her home of an overdose on sleeping pills, and the death is ruled a probable suicide. So, that's the abridged version of the story. of Marilyn Monroe. And so the Spanish I want to teach you today is, I want you to see me. Quiero que me veas. Quiero que me veas. What that means is, I want you to see me. And I think that's fitting for the story that we talked about today. So if there's anything else that you would like to see me do in these videos, or if there's a specific topic that you'd like me to cover, drop a comment down below, and there will also be a link to the what's it called? The Cashapp, if you'd like to donate. But either way, I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it.